When it comes to applying for jobs, amending your CV is absolutely vital. Now, in Module 5, I go through how to analyze job descriptions, how to amend your CV using tools such as Teal and Enhance. But there is actually a very manual way you can amend your CV, and I have been finding it's getting really, really great results. So I'm going to go through in this video this manual amending you can do, and I highly, highly recommend that when there are vacancies where you think, I really want this job and I'm definitely a great match, that you take the time to do this. This really can make the difference between you getting invited or getting rejected. Also, this is a great way to help you prepare for the interview, which you should be getting, as your CV will be an absolute perfect match. So I have got a vacancy here that I have just found on LinkedIn, and I have created a CV. This does not belong to anyone. I have just created this as a as a template to use as an example in this particular video. So what you want to do is to go into your Drive and create a Google document. Now, you can add an extra tab onto one of the documents that we're using or create your own Excel. It doesn't matter. Make sure you store it somewhere along with the job description so you can reference it if you get invited for an interview. So what you want to do is create a bit here that says the job and a bit here that says the requirements. And then over here on the right, we're going to talk about your experience. I do explain in Module 5 how to read job descriptions, but again, just to remind you, the top part is all about what you're doing. In very basic terms, we could say this is what you're being paid to do. The experience you're bringing to the table is the how you will do it. So the how, but ultimately the most important thing is, can you do this? This is what we want you to do. As regional finance lead, we want you to analyze P&L, report to the regional FD, update KPIs. This is really, they need to know, can you do this? The rest, it's actually not quite so important. So we are not going to copy and paste the entire job description into the document here. You are going to pull out the key sentences, key action verbs, really key topics that are very important. Now, you're the expert in your discipline. You can definitely read this and pull out, oh, this is very important. That's very important. But what I really, really want you to focus on is the language that they're using. They're using language like territories. They're using language such as trajectory, oversee. Down here, we've got take ownership. We have support, not work with, it's support. So this is really about understanding the language that they're using. So I've already pulled out a few sentences that I thought were quite useful. So under the role, analyze P&L for specific territories, oversee the budget, assist country manager. And then you will move down to the requirements. So pull out again, what are the really important requirements? And you're going to pull some of them out. Again, you don't need to copy everything, but, exceptional. Some of these are a little bit difficult because they are a little bit more softer skills, and it might be a little bit over the top to say, I have exceptional problem solving skills. We really need to talk about, well, how do you prove you have that? So try to look a little bit more for the harder skills. So, responsible for analysis, control, standard operating, facilitate. So these are words you won't see on every job description. Not every company is saying facilitate knowledge sharing. They might just say knowledge share. So this is what you really want to be pulling out and adding that in your document. When you have gone through most of the topics, we're then going to have a look at your CV, and we are going to see for each different line, where are you showing on your CV you have this experience? And are you using the same language? So you will go to your CV and just take it line by line. Okay, analyze P&L for specific territories reporting to regional FD. Let's have a look here. So here we're talking about how you're working closely with the finance director to deliver key insights. So it's not exactly covering all the topics. So you might want to look through and say, actually, you know what? In that very first role where I've been for 4 years, I don't mention anything about analyzing P&L. I want to make sure I get that in there. But I do talk about working with the finance director. So you're going to copy this. You're going to paste it here. And then you're going to understand the language. So they are talking about reporting to. You're saying working closely with. Ideally, you want to be using the same language as them. So you might change this to Just made this here, and it's about weaving the language in. If you copy and paste everything they have, it's going to be very obvious that you've just copy and pasted. So you have to weave bits of the language in. So they are talking about analyzing, they're talking about territories. Here we're talking about regions. So you can weave those words in. So lead monthly and quarterly reporting, analyzing PL for regional territories. So instead of operations, if you can interchange them, obviously, if it makes sense, reporting into the FD. So instead of working with the FD, maybe reporting into. What does this do? When the recruiter is reviewing your CV, they are looking for these keywords. They will have been told, look for, and there'll be a load of keywords. You're making it really easy. They've really got the job description in their mind. Then they're reading your CV like, oh my God, they've done all of this stuff. So you want to go through line by line, first of all, checking, have I told them I can do this? If I haven't, and I have that experience, I need to get that in my CV right now. Secondly, am I using the right language? Maybe you're talking about managing the budget, but actually they're using the word oversee. Try to change it for oversee. How does this help you for interview preparation? You have gone through all of the main topics they're looking for, and you have pulled out all the areas you've done that. If you get invited for an interview, you can literally just review this document. And if they're asking you, tell me about when you oversaw budgets, it's front of mind because you've pulled it out. So yes, it is more manual, but it's absolutely worthwhile doing. As I've mentioned before, it's all about using the same language. It makes it much easier for the person to understand you have the experience and you can do what they're asking for. Again, just as a final reminder, that the most recent role you've had, this is really where you want to have all the juicy stuff. Because if you've been in your last role for 4 years, it's going to be the most relevant. They want to find most of the information there. So I hope this really helps you. Use this along with Enhance and Teal and everything else that we have been doing together. But really take the time for those, especially for those roles that you absolutely love, that you really, really want to have the job. You know, if you're not really 100% sure and you're a bit tight for time, okay, do a smaller amendment, but really take the time to do a huge amendment like this. Well, it won't even be huge, but really the more manual amendment for the roles that you're absolutely, really, really in love with. Okay, so good luck with everything. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know.